comes the money.
Here we go.
Money talk. Here comes the money. Money,
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna stop that so I don't get copyright. But anyways, what's going on YouTube? JT Born here. Welcome back to another Godzilla vs Kong news-related video. And in today's video, we're gonna be talking about the weekend box office numbers for Godzilla vs Kong. Again, these aren't the final totals; these are the estimates going out. Again, it's still Easter Sunday. Which, by the way, Happy Easter while I'm recording this video. But yes, Godzilla vs Kong is off to a really, really good start. Especially at the domestic box office. It's basically resuscitating it back to life after it has been dead for so long. And again, you also have to factor in limited capacity seating. Not all theaters are open across the United States. And the movie is also on HBO Max, which I heard it's doing very well on HBO Max as well. People are excited to see this movie. It's the third most liked YouTube trailer in history, at least for movies from Hollywood. I'm sure there's some stuff overseas that's got a lot of likes, but it's doing very well. A lot of people are enjoying this movie. A lot of people are excited to see this thing. And it's the movie, man. It is kicking ass. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at these box office numbers. 285 million plus worldwide in just like 12 days or something like that. It's quite impressive. So let's take a look at these numbers. Again, the final totals aren't in, so it could hit like 50 million domestic by the time Easter weekend's over. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see. But anyways, so after logging the best pandemic era start for a Hollywood movie at the international box office last weekend, I posted a video on that. Warner Brothers' Legendary's Godzilla vs. Kong has punched up 285.4 million worldwide through Sunday. The overseas running total, which averaged 76.1 million, a great 39% hold this weekend, is 236.9 million, giving Godzilla vs. Kong bragging rights as the quickest studio movie release during COVID to hit the $200 million milestone, doing so in 12 days versus Tenet's 24. The global cume similarly makes GBK the fastest studio title released during COVID to get to the 2-century mark. All in all, it's good news for monsters, but also for the industry as markets become more stable and audiences reiterate their desires to see films on the big screen. In short order, GBK will top 300 million worldwide. Should probably do that by tomorrow, given the box office. But man, these are really great numbers. So as you can see here, 48.5 million 5-day opening weekend, which is, the 5 days starting at Wednesday, which is really good. The Adam Wingard directed mashup is now number 3 movie of 2021, both offshore and globally, while it's number 1 domestically with a terrific 48.5 million 5-day start. So it's top movie domestic. And offshore, for markets and using today's exchange rate, GBK is tracking ahead of the other films in the MonsterVerse internationally at 11+% versus Godzilla or versus Kong, Skull Island, 35% over Godzilla King of the Monsters, and 83% on Godzilla. So, President of International Distribution commented today, it's no surprise these two iconic titans will lead the charge back to theaters around the world and even exceed expectations in such a massive way, with their incredible numbers in China leading the charge and powerful openings in such markets as Australia, Taiwan, Saudi Arabia, and Mexico. We're looking forward to our best theatrical run for Godzilla vs. Kong across the globe. Indeed, contributing greatly to GBK's Q was China, which added an estimated 44.2 million. That's just a 37% drop from JB Frame and notching a new milestone there as it became the first Hollywood title to cross 100 million since Disney's Frozen 2 in 2019. The community date is an estimated 137.1 million. It has already surpassed 2014's Godzilla and will overtake 2019's Godzilla King of the Monsters. Monday is a public holiday in China is a way to play expected to study. So again, it's talking about this. GBK is holding number 1 in just about every overseas market. Despite the small dip in China, the film came in number 2 this session, owing to the opening local picture sister. Nevertheless, GBK continues to draw audiences there, and Mayon has upped its final projection on the film to 193 million, which would outdistance Kong Skull Island. So it's going to be the top MonsterVerse film in China. Could even hit 200 million. Depends on how this thing's going to hold. Holds are strong all around the world, and we also have to factor in that Godzilla vs. Kong is not playing in every overseas market. I believe cinemas are still closed in the UK. Theaters are still shut down across the world, so they're obviously opting for premium rentals and stuff. So the fact that it's making these types of numbers and outgrossing other MonsterVerse titles when theaters are at full capacity is an insanely awesome feat for this film to do. These are very strong numbers. I think this film, again, we'll just have to wait and see, could even end up becoming the highest grossing MonsterVerse film worldwide. We're just going to have to wait and see because China, I think it'll top out over 200 million. It still needs an additional like $300+ million to top Kong Skull Island. But if it can hit like it's going to hit past 300 million, I think it'll pass 400, so it'll make more than King of the Monsters. If it can hit 500 million in pandemic times and maybe even more, that would be an absolutely incredible feat. It's not impossible to do. It still has to open up in other major markets globally, and theaters are still starting to open up more in the U.S. So if this thing holds strong in the U.S. for a couple of months, I think we could be looking at something very special. I think it'll make more than Godzilla and King of the Monsters domestically. It could maybe even top Skull Island because Skull Island only had 166 million, so that's still possible to make more domestically. It's going to make more internationally in terms of China, but we're just going to have to wait and see what it does in U.S. The highest grossing film domestically is Godzilla 2014 at over $200 million. If Godzilla vs Kong can top at least Skull Island in these pandemic times, that would be really, really impressive. We're just gonna have to wait and see how this thing holds for a while. Because again, um, pretty much theaters all across the country are like that are open are selling out. I mean, this is the only like big movie there. People are loving this thing. I think word of mouth is going to be really strong in this thing. We're just gonna have to wait and see how it holds. But it was surprisingly jumping up from like its initial like day one grosses, and people are just loving this thing. It's got an ace cinema score. Reviews are still strong for this thing. I still have some of my issues with it, which you can check out my review, but I still overall enjoyed the film and I am happy here. And of course, Continue the Monsterverse was also trending on Twitter. So this is good news for Godzilla vs Kong. It has me excited for the future of the Monsterverse. I mean, it's being hailed as like the savior of cinema in a lot of ways, like the savior of like the theater going experience. I think this is a really good thing for Godzilla vs Kong. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think about that. Like a lot of people were like shocked when this thing was going to do day and day release on HBO Max in theaters, but I guess it's paying off quite well. People are seeing it on HBO Max, people are seeing it in theaters. I'm sure Warner Brothers had to pay legendary money to have the film on the HBO Max streaming service, and it looks to be paying off for both parties. So Godzilla vs Kong is going to be doing very well for Legendary Pictures, and that again, it still hasn't opened up in Japan yet, but we're just gonna have to wait and see what it does. I think it's going to do bangers in Japan, and who knows if this thing still has the chance to become the highest-grossing MonsterVerse film. It's already $300 million, pretty much. It'll probably hit $300 million tomorrow, worldwide. And again, 300 million in just 2 weekends. That's still a really impressive number. We're just gonna have to wait and see how this thing continues to hold. But I sense good things for Godzilla vs Kong and its future. So, what are your thoughts on this? Do you like this? Are you excited about this? Are you hopeful for the MonsterVerse to continue? It has to continue. Come on, it's being hailed as the savior of cinema. I mean, at least that's what I'm calling it. Like again, it's a big savior for the box office and giving studios and theater owners a sigh of relief. Again, showings were sold out all over the place. It's tough to get like showings for this thing because again, it's limited capacity and people are enjoying the movie. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. So yeah, I'm excited for this. I'm happy the MonsterVerse, and it's crazy to think that of all the movies to kind of like be like the top film in the world, saving the film industry is a Godzilla versus Kong movie. So the kaiju movie like is being like the movie right now. This is incredible to think about. So I'm excited for this. I'm happy for Godzilla vs Kong. I can't wait to see it make more. I want to know more stuff about the thing. I can't wait for the graphic novels coming out next week. But yeah, this is great news. All right, that's all I got to say. Subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content. Like this video, share it with your friends. Happy Easter to everyone. Again, this thing has 48.5 million, I believe, for the first 5 days. It could still hit 50 million once the actuals come out tomorrow. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. All right, well, that's all I got to say. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, take care now. Bye bye then, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.